What's up, guys? It's John from the internet here in San Francisco, Sunday morning, and it's about 10 o'clock in the morning. Things are not crazy right now, and that's amazing. But someone asked me the other day if I do anything special or anything particular during breaks, and I wanted to spend a few moments answering that question because I thought it was a really cool question. I really like holidays. I really like vacation days. I really like long extended breaks, like calendar. And it's not because I necessarily take breaks, but for whatever reason, I've developed a habit during these breaks to actually do a little bit of digital spring cleaning, if you will. And it's kind of like one of those kind of traditions, I guess, that maybe even you have, like if there's anything in particular that you do, like when you go home for holiday, or if you remember like Christmas break or spring break during school, like you would always do these things, like go to that one restaurant or drink that one thing, holiday coffee. I know that like Starbucks has like their holiday drinks, like peppermint mocha or whatever, I think. Anyway, and so you have all these like personal traditions. Anyway, so I developed one. I can't even remember when I started, but I really felt like these long breaks gave me an opportunity to really kind of like dust off my digital warehouse, if you will, and to pare things back and to kind of review old files and documents and folders. I remember. So when I was young, when I would come home, oh my gosh, this is crazy. When I would come home from like school or whatever, and like all these computers that my family had, or my friends or my relatives or whatever, would have like tons of viruses or whatever. And being kind of one of the more technical folks in the family, people would ask me to clean their systems up, and they would bring their computers to me. This actually still happens, by the way. But thankfully I don't have to spend nearly as much time fixing things. But anyway, so one of the cure-alls, one of the things that I did to really kind of reset someone's computer was I reformatted their entire computer, kind of from the bare metal, whatever, and reboot everything and kind of partition things out. And I actually really enjoyed that process, but it would take hours. It would take hours to reformat a computer, reinstall the operating system, and clean things up, and then get things back to parity. And I don't know, I just enjoy that process of cleaning things up and diagnosing issues, and of course then handing the computer back to my friends or family or whoever, and them just being really happy that I could do that for them. So that's where it came from. Anyway, so I still do that as an adult, is during these long vacations or breaks, I spend time going through old files and folders and really just cleaning things up. And this may mean anything from as simply as kind of renaming files and folders and reorganizing things. That's very kind of easy to do, but the more challenging things that I do is actually I kind of remove old projects and outright delete these old folders and files and projects. And I think it's an important actual process that I force myself to go through, is to actually re-examine these old projects and try to kind of extract any remaining value out of them, or maybe just like introspect and retrospect about them, think about them, remember how the challenges, the heartache, the victories, and then to be able to like put those things to bed and delete them. And so what I do is I fully delete them. I don't save any backups. I don't save any archives or anything like that. And that might sound a little bit weird, because in a world where cloud services and you have pretty much like a near unlimited amount of hard drive space, maybe not on your physical computer, but in the cloud or having these backup solutions, like why not? Why wouldn't I keep these things around? And for me, it's just a part of my kind of emotional and psychological cleansing, is that these projects, some were massive, like old companies, right? Folders for old companies and stuff like that. Like, it's just an important part of my process to help me move on, and to really capture any lost emotional energy that may still be sitting in those projects. And it's an opportunity to just kind of like wipe my hands clean from those projects, and to give myself a little bit more mental bandwidth. And I think that's important for me for two reasons. The first is that the amount of emotional lag that I have based on all these previous projects is actually quite considerable. It's hard to like analyze it day to day or to diagnose it day to day, but I have been building things for so long that I have this huge repositories of old projects, and I feel that weight. I don't know how to I don't really know how to describe it other than I just feel and sense that weight. And it's really important that I kind of remove that so I can do my best work, which I'm currently working on right now. And so it's a good way of removing a little bit of that weight, and then really offering up more emotional bandwidth, more emotional psychological bandwidth for my current projects. So that's the first reason. The second is I'm trying to train myself to be a better decision maker, and a more critical decision maker. It's easy for me to, I think, like many people, to just kind of sit on the fence on some of these things. But by making a very critical decision about something that was at one point very emotionally engaging, something that I was deeply emotionally attached to, helps train me to make better decisions in my current project. Because we as an organization, me as a leader, and my team, we encounter difficult problems that we have to solve, and we have to make critical decisions very quickly. And I was told by one of my mentors, actually in the past, that by practicing decision making on past projects, it actually helps accelerate and your learning around kind of new decision making when it comes to the projects that you're currently working on. And after a handful of times of doing kind of this process continually, I definitely see a net gain. And so it just, the training, kind of decision making training, if you will, is an interesting concept, and one that maybe that you can explore and even begin to exercise or practice against. But those are two things, that's one thing that I do during holidays and longer breaks, is kind of a mental spring cleaning to give myself a little more bandwidth emotionally and psychologically. And I really think that's an important part of my process of building, so I can build, strongly moving forward. So anyway, great question. Thanks for asking. And hope you guys have a great rest of the weekend. All right, bye.